Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 185 of Crunch Time. I'm going to be your host for today's episode. I am Tanner Dyslin, and as always, I am joined by Sam Godsey, and we are the N326 duo. Sam, how are we doing today, my friend?
I've been better, Tanner. It was a rough weekend for some of my teams, but great weekends for others. But it's looking pretty bleak, Tanner, for two of my football teams. But another week is upon us. I'm ready to talk about last weekend's action, man.
Another week is upon us, and that is unfortunately the mentality some of us have to have week after week. But yeah, you mentioned we got a full slate to talk about. Where should we start?
Man, dude, it's pretty much a toss up for me. Let's just go in chronological order. I think let's start in the college realm of things, man.
All right. I mean, if we're starting in the college Roma things, and we're going in chronological order, that means we're starting with our Iowa Hawkeyes on Friday night, going into Piscataway and getting their first conference win of the year, a big time win in New Jersey in the blackout. They win 38-28.
Yeah, this game was super fun to watch for the second half. It was quite painful to watch. Obviously, you've heard us talk about it so many times on the pod. It's a lot of strong defenses and shitty offenses. That wasn't the case in the first half of this one. Rutgers were moving the ball with ease in the first half. But luckily we had Wet Gin keep it close, took the opening kickoff for six. And then Phil Parker made some much needed adjustments in the second half, and Iowa's offense got back on their horse, and we looked good in that second half. But unfortunately for us, it's a two-half game, four quarters, and you're not going to win a lot of games when you're only playing good half the game. So there's definitely concerns, but I think the offense was one of our stronger units, which is shocking to say with Iowa. And I would probably go um, special teams one, offense two, and defense three for this one, honestly, Tanner.
Yeah, this was a bizarre one because, like you said, it was bizarre world. I mean, the offense scored 38 points, was going blow for blow with
That was
Rutgers. Yeah, exactly. It was going blow for blow with Rutgers, and the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Um, Rutgers is moving up and down the field constantly. And then you mentioned special teams. Like in that first half, they had a missed field goal, they had a couple poor punts, and we're just like, dude, what is happening with this team? In the second half, things looked a lot better. I mean, the third quarter, I believe no one scored a point. I think it was 21 all at half. Not a point was scored in that third quarter. And then Iowa obviously won that fourth quarter by 10. Great job by the defense to come out and only give up 7 in the second half. Um, and the special teams reeled it in. Obviously, the big note was the block kick. And then the big special teams play in the first half was the Legion return. So I mean, I'm very worried about the defense. That's the main thing with me. Like, yes, the offense looks much improved. They looked great against Rutgers, but like the offense is still not good enough to win a shootout
Yeah.
against a really good football team. So later in the year, you get Penn State, you get Oregon, some of these teams. The defense really needs to figure something out if you're going to win any of those, which of course you need to win those to build your playoff case. So we'll see. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Rutgers is bad. They're
No.
certainly not good. Rutgers is not a bad team. You went in there on the road and you got a big win, and you did so by 2 possessions. So you covered the spread. Great teams do that, I've been told. So yeah, I mean it was a good win, but yeah, I'm concerned about the defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean that got off. That got our day off to a great start. Um, Only for it to be ruined for our dear friend Sam here. in the early slate on Saturday because his other team, which I'm sure he was alluding to in his opening statements there, Arkansas blew a 31 28 to 10 point 28 to 10 lead,
28-17.
28-17 at half, which I think because the right before half was the blown
Yeah,
call.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it
So it
was
was 28-10 basically.
28 to 10 lead. Final score 32-31 Memphis.
Yeah. Fire Pittman is all I gotta say. The fact he's not fired as of this recording on Monday is absolutely absurd. His buyout 6.7. I think paying that would be worth every damn penny. Um, I mean, this offense was. Let's not act like Memphis is a good team to begin with. They are not good at all, I'd say. Um,
They're 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 a quality group of five team that a power four team should beat.
yeah, and
Certainly beat up 28 to 10.
yeah, it seemed the offense. I mean, the defense is dog shit, but the offense is one of the best in the country statistically, and they just fell apart in that second half. But you talked about the controversial play at the end of the first half, which Memphis scored on. They called it. Was it? It was.
So
Did they call DPI on Arkansas?
it was caught for a touchdown. They threw the flag, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be OPI and bring it back." But they ended
Yeah,
up calling it on Arkansas, so they obviously declined it, and it was they called it a touchdown. Crazy call.
yeah. I think that was pretty much more egregious than one of the missed calls in a later game. I'm sure we will get to, but I mean, Arkansas was just churning and burning in that first half. Seemed this one was they were getting run away with it. Then the second half started. Memphis offense got going, and some costly mistakes by Taylor Green, and then of course the most costly, Mike Washington. It was, I believe, third and short. Needed a first down to kind of seal the deal. They were getting close to the end zone. And he proceeded to fumble. And uh, yeah. So they turned the ball over with I don't even know how much time left, but it would have been a tough challenge for Arkansas to come back at that point due to the play of the defense in the second half. Then on second down, first and second down, stopped them. Memphis's quarterback, I'm blanking on their starter's name. His helmet came off, so they had to put in their backup, and their backup, Brendan Lewis, went out. Or Brendan Lewis is the starter. Arrington Maiden making his first snap in a obviously high stress situation, and Arkansas thinks they're getting pass, I guess, which was bold bold decision because Maiden uh just took a QB draw basically, and not only did he get the first down, but he dragged the 400-pound defensive tackle about 5 yards in to kind of seal the deal for Memphis. So a lot of costly mistakes. Things are very bleak in Fayetteville. Pittman needs to be gone. Um, but it's very, very bleak.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned all those things. This is a game that a poorly coached team loses because literally, if any one of those things didn't happen the way they did, if they didn't fumble and held onto the ball and kicked the field goal, they win. If the defensive lineman doesn't get carried 10 yards, Arkansas has a chance. But the way the offense was moving, they probably win. If if Taylor Green didn't throw a pretty costly interception, seemingly to no one, they probably win. The mistakes just compounded and compounded, and literally, if one of them doesn't happen,
Yeah.
they probably win. I would. It's one of those where, like, to be honest with you, I don't think they expected him to pass. They had him stopped. It was well covered.
Yeah.
He was completely surrounded and wrapped up. And then the 400-pound defensive tackle got carried 10 yards for the win. It was one of those games where after you just sitting there, I cannot believe that just happened.
Yeah.
But it's rough times in Fayetteville, and I think this is a major storyline in college football because there are a bunch of programs. We covered it a little bit with some of the firings last week, so we're not going to cover those teams. But there are a group of once proud college football programs that are just really, really going through it right now, Sam. None bigger than the preseason number 4 team in the nation, Clemson, who, if they weren't dead last week, there is nothing more dead than the 2025 Clemson Tigers football team.
Yeah. The Syracuse Orange took a dead horse out and beat it some more. Yeah.
And then got in a weather delay to prolong the beating.
Yeah.
As long as you possibly
What
could.
was it? Like 3.5 hours? Absolutely absurd. But yeah, Tanner. Syracuse dominated. Scoreboard, you look at it, 34-21. Doesn't look like a lot, but Syracuse was in control of this game from start to finish. You mentioned that 3 hour rain, lightning, whatever you want to call it, delay. But it didn't bother Syracuse. Clemson kind of fought back in that once they returned, but I'm not gonna sit here and say Syracuse was just the overall better team because I wouldn't even say like Syracuse is solid, but nothing special. I mean, they lost to Tennessee by 19, okay, but they only beat UConn by 7. And by the way, they had to run sprints afterwards.
Some are saying those sprints have changed the season for the 2025 Syracuse Orange. But look, dude, I mean, the story of this is obvious. Like, hats off to Syracuse. That's a huge win going into Clemson, the fake Death Valley. But like, it's like you said, it's just watching this game. If your takeaway is anything other than holy crap, Clemson is super mega ass.
Yeah,
like
it's true.
This is not a this team was supposed to be top 10. They're maybe top 30 or 40, flirting with the top 25. So we call them bad because they're worse than we thought. No. This team is just flat out bad. 0-2 in conference play right now. Losses to Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Let me tell you something about Georgia Tech and Syracuse. They're probably not going to be winning the ACC. So if this team, I don't even know who they have on their schedule. If they have a Florida State, they have Florida State. Looks like they avoid Miami. But next week we have the Toilet Bowl. They play North Carolina.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, they can come out on top of that one.
Yeah.
But it's really bad right now.
I kind of hope not.
And I hope not as well. But I think this is the nail in the coffin, because every loss we have to come on here and say, wow, Clemson lost again. Talk about it. Wow, Clemson lost again. Talk about it. This is the nail in the coffin. Now when Clemson loses again, it's expected. So we probably won't be talking about them very much.
No.
Because when they lose, it's exactly what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they're bad. Did you happen to see Cade Klubnik after the game as well with some of the largest loser talk you've ever heard? Just getting out there being like, I'm proud of the team. Like, we competed. You know, we were in, like, just the biggest loser talk of all time.
Yeah. That's not a good look. But I do think quarterback in a game I'm sure we'll touch on here in a bit might have been a bigger had bigger loser talk. But
Sure.
speaking of loser talk, let's talk about the appetizer to this absolute stomping. Dabo Sweeney's press conference. I think we got to bring this up before the game. Obviously, there's been rumblings of Clemson possibly letting go of Dabo, and this is what he said: if they want me gone, if they're tired of winning, they can send me on their way. I mean, if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way, but I'm gonna go somewhere else and coach. Basically saying like he also brought up the fact they have won at like 8 of the last 10 um ACC titles, and he's like, I'm a certified winner. You were in the last era of college football. We kind of mentioned it last week, but I mean that, and then seeing him cry. I mean, it was a great hate watch for sure.
It was a great hay watch, and I'm a big fan of the fact that the programs that dominated college football when we were growing up are now just getting a gut check. Bama, Clemson, namely. And yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the sport to have. I wouldn't say because it's not like we're getting crazy surprises in the
Yeah,
top 10, but at least it's not Bama, Clemson, Bama, Clemson, Bama,
yeah,
Clemson.
it's more level field.
Now, piggybacking off Clemson, we got
Yeah,
another team to talk about. This one I think will be shorter, just because they were never
done. They're done.
They're we're talking about the same team.
Cooked. Yep.
Like, okay, yeah, like they were cooked before this. They're so cooked. They're well done now. um, it's a shame that a legend head coach is going out this way because the Oklahoma State Cowboys are in a really rough spot.
Yeah, it's over. The Mike Gundy era will be over very soon.
rather than later.
Obviously lost to Tulsa this past weekend. Got absolutely curb stomped by Oregon. Looking down their schedule, it doesn't get much easier. They might get two more wins against Cincy and UCF, but it's very bleak. Like you said though, it's sad seeing a legend of a coach like Mike Gundy go out this way because I mean, not very long ago, Oklahoma State was kind of at the top with the Texas and Oklahomas of the Big 12, and how the mighty have fallen for sure.
Yeah, it's added to the list here. Um, in defense of Mike Gundy, which I do like Mike Gundy. Over the past couple of years, he's taken a lot of L's, not only on the field, but with some comments he said. But I will say, in defense of Mike Gundy, this most recent loss to Tulsa. I guess I don't know if we mentioned that. Did you mention that this most recent one was Tulsa? Losing to Tulsa 19-12. Tulsa has way more money than Oklahoma State does, and that's why.
For sure.
Similar to his comments to Oregon. Yeah, that's why his team is losing, is because the other team just has more resources. But I mean, right now, man, I would say Arkansas, Virginia Tech, obviously, Oklahoma State, Clemson. They're just really in the gutter right now.
Yeah.
Really, really in the gutter. And I don't really know what the path is forward for all of them, but they're probably they are probably headed for coaching changes, it seems.
Yeah.
It seems. So we'll have to see how that goes. But sticking in the Big 12, one of the bigger games of the weekend, maybe a sneak peek into how the Big 12 will shake out towards the end of the season. And let me tell you, Texas Tech kind of went belt to ass in Utah, beating them 34-10.
Yeah. Texas Tech, we kind of talked about it. One of the most expensive teams out there. Turns out sometimes paying paying the big bucks gets you the big players, and that was the truth in this game. Will Hammond absolutely picked apart the Utah defense, and this one was doing everything with ease. And then it was just a perfect combo of great offense and great defense. I mean, last week we all rode with the Utes in this one. Thought Dampier and company were gonna go crazy. Obviously, a lot of hype of them coming into this game, and Texas Tech, I think, felt a little chip on their shoulder in this one, and went out and proved why they're the front runners of the Big 12 conference right now.
Without question. I mean, the score tells the story. I mean, it was like complete domination. Utah turned the ball over like every other possession.
Yeah.
Just dominant, really, really dominant. So I am really impressed with how Texas Tech looked after after this game. I think we should do a little look ahead for predict the schedule for Texas Tech, because I don't think they have Iowa State, correct? So they have Houston, Kansas, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, BYU, UCF, West Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to play at Arizona State, who, I mean, they have that one blemish on their schedule.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have kind of written them off, but maybe, that can be a tough game. They get BYU at home. BYU's a top 25 team at the moment. So, but that seems to be a pretty favorable
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Houston, I honestly don't know what their um schedule has been up to this point, but I know they can put up some point. Connor, that I think their quarterback's a transfer from A&M, I believe, can absolutely sling it. So I mean, Big 12 is kind of nice conferences.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely far superior, or the opposite of superior, compared to the big dogs. But Texas Tech is a problem, and it's gonna make some noise this season for sure.
For sure. No, I couldn't agree more. That was the main takeaway here, is that Texas Tech seemingly grabbed the Big 12 by the horns, and taking control of that conference. Utah has some searching to do for sure at home. Big noon kickoff there. I mean, it was 10 o'clock local time, which is just, I can't even begin to talk about how crazy that is. But big game, and they just came out flat, completely flat. Moving on here. How about we talk about a team? Let's put it this way. There's been a lot of talk on this podcast about teams being winless against ranked opponents, because Iowa hasn't beaten one in a long time, and the streak has been pretty brutal. Not as brutal as Nebraska football, because they have not had a ranked win in 29 attempts. They are 0-29 in their last 29, and they couldn't get it done this weekend against the Wolverines.
Yeah. You look at the score, 3-point win for Michigan. You look at that and say, "Oh, this game must have been awesome." It really wasn't. Both of these quarterbacks are not good. Bryce Underwood can't throw the ball. Luckily for him, he plays for Michigan, which is a team you really don't have to. But Rayola sucks. He's not doing the prime Mahomes impression. He's doing the current day impressions of Mahomes, and it's just really ugly. He sucks. But obviously, if you're not a ball knower, you look at the stats, it's not that bad. Yeah, I think he threw for like 300 yards.
308, 3 touchdowns and a pick. That's
But
the final stat.
the guys watching the game know he played bad. The I think this shows more of Nebraska because I am a firm believer Matt Rule is a guy, but how much time do you get him till you have to chalk it up as a L? Because like it's just like this might be the year Nebraska's good. It's year in year out. Everyone expects them to be good, and they end up falling flat on their face. But yeah, this game, by the looks of it, looked like a rock was ugly, with filled with bad quarterback play.
Yeah, I think looking at it, just Michigan is still Michigan. They're going to run the hell out of the ball. And it's going to be on you to stop it. And it's just another team like Nebraska. At one point, got back in the game, tied it. It was yeah, tied it, and it was like all the momentum was with Nebraska. And the very first play for Michigan was a handoff, and it went 75 yards.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all momentum was gone. But looking at Nebraska, like they're not dead. They do have a rather favorable schedule. The only ranked opponents they have left are USC and Penn State. Obviously, Penn State is probably going to be a big L, but like if you came up to me and said they beat USC, I don't think USC is unbeatable. USC's got
Yeah.
major flaws, so they could possibly win that game. And then everything else: Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, UCLA, and Iowa. Like those are all winnable too. So they're not dead, but yeah, it's like this would have been a big time signature win to let the world know Nebraska is
Yeah.
back, and they couldn't do it. And it's another one score game that they lost, and it just someone make a play somewhere, and it just seemingly time after time does not happen for Nebraska.
Yeah, that seems to be the case in Lincoln.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Um, but we mentioned before how someone out there may have had some bigger loser talk. I assume we're both talking about, or you meant talking about someone who was playing his former team this weekend
Yeah.
because there was a big time grudge match in Norman, battle of ranked opponents. Auburn went to Oklahoma. John Mateer and the Sooners looked great so far, undefeated. So was Auburn. Big time matchup. Oklahoma gets the win 24-17. After the game, Jackson Arnold, quarterback for Auburn, former quarterback for Utah, was leaving the field, obviously getting heckled by fans, and he was saying to them, "You wish you were me."
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy talk. You just took an L to your former team. So you you think these people wish they were you because you're a loser who can't beat his former team. Interesting.
I mean, it's just like it's anytime an athlete talks back to fans with the "I'm better than you," "You wish you were me," any of that stuff, you're done. You've lost. You're
Mm-hmm.
done. Like there's no good that can come from that. Obviously, Auburn didn't get the win, and there was some questionable officiating in this game
Yeah.
that I'm sure we will talk about in a second. But you're leaving, they're heckling you. And is there any world where you didn't expect them to heckle you? Like,
Yeah.
just walk off the field, man. Like, obviously, you are more successful than some random college kid who's yelling, hey Jackson Arnold, you suck. Get off the field. Just get off the
Yeah.
field, regroup, and get out of next one. Like, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But yeah, you mentioned the controversy. Obviously, Oklahoma set up a trick play where the guy seemed to be going out for a substitution, but instead of going for a substitution, he lined up um, right in front of the sideline. It's like a rule in the long ass rule book that's not allowed. Ref was standing right in front of him, and the SEC came out either yesterday or today saying we missed this call, laid it out. At the end of the day, that's one play. That did not change the game personally for me. But as an Auburn fan, how do you take like are you like, oh, they just blew a call that was pretty
Oh,
important.
well,
Like,
I'm an Auburn fan. That's exactly what I'm doing because that's what fandom is all about.
yeah,
Is blaming everyone but your team. But yeah, I mean, it's like they had so many chances to win this game. First off, I also want to say that's gonna be one of the worst rules I've ever seen.
yeah,
Apparently, the rule, like, yeah, you can't like fake coming off
yeah.
because it's intentionally misleading.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? That's like one of the oldest plays in the book. You
Yeah.
like you hide on the sideline. Like that's crazy to me. So, but if I'm an Oklahoma or an Auburn fan, I'm absolutely saying that because that's what fandom is. But like anyone with a rational head is like what you said. It's like there's so many ways we could have won this game. Um,
Like not giving up 9 sacks, maybe.
like not giving up 9 sacks. That would be a good place to
That's
start.
insane.
That's a lot of sacks, and it was like a school record, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Um, yeah, I mean it was not good offensive line play from Auburn. I mean they took the lead at one point, but the other questionable refereeing thing, Sam, was the catch on the last drive.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you, man. I feel like we're back in 2015 or whenever it was where we had no idea what a catch was because like to me that looked like less of a catch than the LSU guy against Clemson when that got overturned. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. That was a catch, but but LSU wasn't. There's no consistency. Who knows? Not me. Did you think it was a catch?
Um, man, I don't remember it to be honest with you, Tanner. I'd have to watch it back, but like, yeah,
It's one of the. I think I was fine with it being a catch, but like I said, it's just like there are some others that I think are a lot more definite catches than that get overturned and are incomplete. One of those where he caught it, took a couple steps, it was stripped away. What's a catch? What's not a catch? Nobody knows, including us here. So
yeah,
questionable refereeing all around. But the bottom line here, Oklahoma gets a big win at home against their former quarterback. And Oklahoma is setting themselves up for a spicy season because pretty soon here, Sam, we're going to have a Red River rivalry with Oklahoma, who's overperforming by all accounts and has a stud quarterback who I believe currently is the Heisman favorite. And you have Texas, preseason juggernaut, who's going to beat them. They have been largely underwhelming thus far. So that could be a really intriguing thing. Well, could be. It will be a really intriguing thing.
yeah. It'll be interesting. The Red River rivalry, obviously one of the most heated rivalries in all of college sports. Um, I don't think it's gonna be much of a game.
Who's winning?
I think Oklahoma is gonna blow the doors off
Let's
of
go.
Texas. Um,
That's just
the
in.
only time we've seen Arch Manning play well is against a 0-3 Sam Houston team where he flexes on the
Correct.
haters.
Correct.
Being future plumbers and accountants, hell yeah. But yeah, it's
In 3 weeks, we have the Red River. Oklahoma. Let's do a little Oklahoma schedule right now. They're off next week. Then Kent State, obviously. Then the Red River, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU. Oh,
yeah, that's a tough stretch there.
oh, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight ranked opponents to end the year. Wow.
Yeah, that's tough. That's brutal.
That'll be interesting. But with the current AP poll, up to number 7 in the nation is Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma ball might be back. Some are saying moving right along. Do we get to the most disappointing game? Because it was supposed to be the best game. Turned out to be the most disappointing because Sam, right here, right on our desk, the Indiana Hoosiers went. If let's see, if Texas Tech Utah was built to ass, what is this? Just like
Yeah, I don't know,
put them in the
Tanner.
dirt, 6 feet under.
6 feet under. Um, beat them to a pulp. Um, yeah. Uh, the Hoosiers absolutely embarrassed Illinois, who, by the way, was number 9 in the country heading into this one. I think Indiana felt a bit disrespected. Kirk Signetti had his boys ready, and ready they were. Just absolutely absurd. They made Illinois look like a 0-3 FCS team in this one. I mean, it was just unbearable to watch at points. It was just Indiana was so far ahead. Illinois in this one in every possible way. And it showed in the scoreboard, showed on the field, showed in the broadcast. It was just absolutely an ass whooping.
This was one of the worst ass whoopings I've ever seen, especially from a game like maybe it's not as bad as Ohio State versus Sam Houston State, but this is the one of the worst of a top flight matchup prime time I've ever seen. Um, if you had to get how, I'm gonna give some numbers, and I want you to try and guess like what number that is. Okay.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard. I get it, but I want to see a little game here. So the first number I'm gonna give you is 22. 22.
First downs.
Yeah, you'd think that's Indiana's first downs.
Uh-huh.
No, that's how many more first downs Indiana had than
Holy
Illinois, because it was 31-9
Oh my
in first
God.
downs. The next number I'm gonna give, so impressive with the first downs, by the way. But yeah, that's how many more first downs they got. Next one. How about 418? 418.
Uh, some kind of yards, I'd assume. All-purpose yards.
Yeah, Indiana's all-purpose yards. I mean, 418 is a ton.
Yeah.
That's how many more yards Indiana had than Illinois. 579 to 160.
Boom.
Everything, like you said, it showed up on the score. It showed up while watching. It shows up in the stat book. This was complete and total utter domination.
Yeah.
And as you can see, for those of you watching on the YouTube, I tapped it before. Next week, Indiana's got to go to Iowa City. So who knows if this could be the galvanizing win for Indiana if they show up a little hungover. I don't know. But Indiana looked damn good.
Yeah. Absolutely dominant.
And all they did was climb themselves up to number 11
Absurd.
in the nation. Not top 10 after that.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Do we need to go through the AP voters thought process again, or
Jesus. Let's not put ourselves through that again.
yeah.
But I would love to know how they aren't top 10
Me too.
when they.
The boring answer is it doesn't matter, but damn, it sucks to see teams that deserve top 10 to not get top 10. But to round out the college football Saturday, there's a big, massive college football team that we forgot to mention as once proud college football programs that has really had it rough over these last couple of years. And this year specifically, that is the Florida Gators, who had one of the toughest schedules in the nation. they had to go to Miami, and to nobody's surprise, Miami kind of dominated this game as well. Florida couldn't get anything going on offense, 26-7.
Honestly, I expected way worse. I thought Miami was going to blow the doors off of them. I thought it was going to be kind of an Indiana Illinois situation where it's over by half. Um, it was kind of competitive for the first half. It was extremely sloppy. I don't think Florida's defense is that bad.
Sure.
I- but I mean, their offense is pitiful. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess
I just
I need to
don't
amend my
understand
statement.
how it wasn't worse
Yeah, I need to amend my
because
statement.
Miami was definitely the better of
When I
the
say
two by a
when I say
significant margin.
yeah, when I say dominated, because I think I won't. Yeah, I mean at halftime was 13-7. So when I say dominated, it was more in the fact that DJ Lagway ended up with 61 yards on 12 completions
Yeah, he's trash.
on 23 attempts.
He's trash.
Really rough start to the year for DJ Lagway, and this is to me is why I think Miami is very scary, because Miami's defense I think is legitimately good.
Yeah,
They are legitimately good. Miami's defense was one of the worst in college football last year. Cam Ward has got to be furious with Miami athletics because they could have had a national championship last year if Miami had this defense. That's how good they were on offense last year. But this defense is absolutely scary. Going through the body of work real quick, Sam. I mean, Notre Dame, who is putting up points like crazy in this early part of their schedule against Texas A&M, they scored 40 plus, or was it 40 plus?
I believe so.
Yeah, they scored 40. They lost 41-40.
Yeah,
And then against Purdue, obviously Purdue's not very good, but like they're at least not a group of 5 team. They scored 56. Notre Dame's scoring a ton of points, and they held them 24.
yeah,
Florida, I mean, obviously we've mentioned DJ Lagway struggles, 61 yards passing, skunked them in the first half, only let up one solitary touchdown. Like, this is really good. The
yeah,
East is trash. There'll be a big one against Florida State, obviously the rivalry game there later in the year, but
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I mean the shitty part about it though is they don't really play anyone worth a shit.
yep. I mean, that's the thing is this early part of their schedule was the big
The
headliners beating Notre Dame
yeah,
and was supposed to be beating what looked like a tough Florida team, but
yeah, not so not so much
not the
these days.
case. And in 2 weeks we have that matchup versus Florida State, which Miami's off this week. So their next game, they got 2 weeks to prepare for Florida State. That
That'll be a
obviously
super fun one.
should be an awesome one, really, for supremacy in that ACC. But then
Yeah.
we talked about the end of Oklahoma's schedule. Listen to the end of Miami's. Louisville, not a bad team, but whatever. Stanford, SMU, Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, Pitt.
Jeez. That's the ACC.
That's the ACC for you, and it's pretty clear. I mean, I assume that uh, if both of these teams win out, except for their matchup against each other, they would play in the ACC title game. That
Yeah.
would probably be the assumption,
Yeah.
which I'd be here for. Obviously, that would be awesome. But ACC is god awful. Miami is good. Florida State is good. No one else is.
Yeah. Basically.
That's the takeaway. Anything else on the slate of college football?
Nah,
We
man,
covered a lot.
I think we covered it all, honestly.
A lot of dead programs, a lot of big wins, program defining wins this week. Of course, should we move on to the NFL?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Do we continue the chronological thing here?
Yeah, might as well.
Because, I mean, on Thursday, Bills stay undefeated. Miami, I guess, looks like they have a pulse, but still in the end, lose by 10. Tua still looks like he's not the answer. Tyreek Hill obviously is really frustrated. I mean, I'm telling you, the all-time bad vibes team is now 0-3. And it looks like it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. This game was pretty competitive through about the first 3 1/8
Yep.
quarters. It was 21-21 going early in the fourth quarter. And where momentum flipped, Tanner, was with about 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Dolphins force a 3-and-out. They go for a punt on 4th and 7, roughing the kicker, 15 yards. And what happens? Josh Allen and co. lead, take a 28-21 lead. So down by 7, they can still make it happen. And what happens? Tua Tagovailoa
Just tell me if you've heard this
throws
before.
a pick, sealing the deal. And yeah, that's basically how this game came to be. Bad vibes all around in Miami. I don't know what you do to fix it. Do you just kind of take the L and ship out your studs? Um, it's I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's do where does the Dolphins' first win come? Because I got to be honest, their next 2 weeks, very winnable. At the Jets. They beat the Jets. Because to be honest with you,
I'm gonna go now.
other than the Bills, which obviously the Bills are very, very good, Jets fought against Pitt, looked pretty good. Obviously, defense had some issues. Fought against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and
You
Justin
know,
Fields should be back next
yeah,
for that game.
yeah. And then after that, the Panthers just went belt to ass on the Falcons. So like another
Yeah,
winnable game. That one's in Carolina. But then after that, the Chargers probably not
L.
there. Then the Browns. So
I mean, Tua's gonna throw at least 2 picks there.
especially against that Browns defense. So
Yeah,
I mean, like I think the moral of the story here is they have some winnable games coming up. So there's a chance that within the next 4 weeks we
the
could be looking
vibes
at
could.
we could be looking at a 3-4 team
Yeah,
if they beat the Panthers, the Jets, and the Browns, which are all winnable.
yeah,
But you got to play sound football in order to win those three. It's not what the Dolphins have been doing, and I don't. The Bills are just they're really good.
yeah.
They're really good. Next week the Bills play the Saints. Whose line is it anyway?
Bills 12.5.
16 and a
Oh
half.
my!
16 and
I
a
was
half.
playing it low because of it just being the NFL. You don't get those 16.5. I mean, I'm still taking the
And an
Bills.
NFL spread is crazy. If anyone out there, tweet us your Saints slips because you have some stones if you're putting your currency
Yeah,
on the New Orleans
I'd
Saints.
respect it for sure, though.
I would respect it too, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah,
But that's enough on the Saints, and probably enough on the Saints for the rest of the year. Because Sam, on Sunday, the early slate, a ton of blowouts and a ton of kind of gross games, but until the witching hour when it turned into absolute cinema.
the witching hour was probably the best witching hour we have seen in a very long time, Tanner.
Yeah, it was. Going through, I mean, where do we start? The block kickathon?
Yeah, I think that's where we start, man. There were 3 games that ended in special team blunders.
Correct.
Within a span of about 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, and 2 of them were special teams blunders turned into opposing
True.
Turned into special team successes. But yeah, there were 3 major blocked field goals, all within maybe a half an hour of each other. And that might be even further apart than they actually were. in Cleveland,
Yeah.
the Green Bay Packers, one of their offensive linemen during the week came out and said, I don't know who's going to beat us. We're going undefeated. That lasted all of a couple days when the Browns, the lowly Browns, beat the big, high and mighty Packers 13-10. Let's cut down to it, Sam. The Packers in a 10-10 game had a field goal attempt to win with like 30 seconds left. It gets blocked. And then the Browns come on and they make like a 50-plus yarder from Mr. SCZYMYT Schmidt. Made a 50-plus yarder to win the game. He is the hero, 13-10 Browns.
Yeah. Yeah, this tough one for Green Bay. I know they were facing a lot of injuries, so if I'm a Packers fan, yeah, it sucks being a meme losing to the Browns, but I'm not buying too much into this one. If I'm a Packers fan, Browns, you needed this one desperately. And the Packers have one of the best chances to get right this upcoming weekend. So I mean, you can't have that happen, obviously. But I'm not I'm not too upset with the amount of injuries the Packers were facing, but still it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I'm not too upset. I'm actually delighted from the outcome of this game. Yeah, obviously, there's like my thoughts on the Packers. Did they change now than they did last week? I mean, maybe, sure. But like you said, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. Obviously, they still are. Um, the Browns defense is legitimately good. Myles Garrett is unblockable. He was in the Packers backfield all day. Packers with major offensive line issues. I don't know if that's a Packers thing or if that's just a Browns front thing because they are legitimately good. To me, the only thing that I'm walking away from this being like, if I'm a Packer fan, the only thing I'm concerned about is the Jordan Love interception.
Yeah, that was a tough
That
look.
was that was a really bad interception, and like this guy, man, like it's there are multiple examples of him just like losing his brain for a second. Some of these plays he tries to extend and makes a terrible throw, and this one obviously was just a terrible decision from the start. Um, and it's like it's there were some Packers fans talking about how much do they trust Jordan Love. Obviously, the defense is really good. I mean, the Browns' offense is bad, but still, they just the defense was really good. I just when it comes down to it, there are multiple examples of in big moments Jordan Love not necessarily uh be showing his best stuff. Let's say
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
so. We'll see with the Packers. Obviously, I was very happy at the end of this, and that Jordan Love interception was really bad. But I mean, a game that literally ended on a special teams blunder. The Rams, they blow a 26-9 lead.
Yeah, this was brutal. If you're a Rams fan, you're dominating this game for majority of it. Like you said, 26-7. Um, and then the Philly
Excuse me,
offense
26-7.
kinda got going, but the real play here, the Rams had an opportunity to win this one with 3 seconds left. Unfortunately, it was blocked and ended up being returned by Jordan Davis to secure that victory. So
Much to the better's delight or dismay, because the line was
yeah.
Eagles minus 3.5.
Yeah,
They were
there
winning
needs to
by
be an
one.
investigation on Jordan Davis, I think, because there was literally no reason for him to score.
None at all. He's a big fella. All he had to do was take a seat, would have saved himself all that cardio. But hey, I guess he wanted to get in the end zone. Um, but very weird game. Obviously, the Eagles' offense looked terrible. I don't know if they just like figured it out in that fourth quarter, but it was something like Jalen Hurts had more passing yards in the fourth quarter than he had all year long. The offense, yeah, just like when it comes down to it, obviously, I think everyone like Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. It's just he wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? Like so, and their offense looked terrible. They figured something out. AJ Brown is still a football player.
Yeah.
Some of us forgot as I understand why he was just like non-existent in their offense. But the Eagles, maybe just maybe they've fully turned around their offense. But it's just they're right now they're like top to bottom. They have so much talent that somehow, some way, whether it's the offense, whether it's the defense, whether it's the special teams, they're going to find a way to win. That's just what it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, they had to run the tush push, much to many people's
Yeah,
dismay. Um,
it's still a highly illegal play. It still needs to go, but I don't know what else to say that hasn't
yeah,
been said.
yeah,
That play sucks. Get it out of the game. Eagles are still really good. And
yeah,
like we said, it's not an anti-Eagles thing because they would be just as good as at a regular QB.
yeah,
Just make them do it fairly. So that was that, and then the final blocked kick, the Bucs, they were up 6, kicking a field goal to go up 9, and the Jets, Will McDonald, actually Iowa State legend, made a awesome play, jumped over the line, got the block, and then picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown. The Jets took the lead late, but of course, I would say that if I needed a game winning drive at the end of the game, there is not a single quarterback in the NFL I would want more than Baker Mayfield, because I think he's done it in all 3 of his games so far this year. And if they weren't to go ahead, it's to put it away. Baker Mayfield is one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the NFL right now, if not the most, and is an absolute dog. That word gets thrown around way too much, but there is no better example of a dog than Baker Mayfield. He leads his team down, and they kick a field goal as time expires to win. Buccaneers win this one. Jets fought. The block kick was awesome. Baker Mayfield's a dog.
yeah. That's basically it. I don't know if you saw Baker Mayfield's press conference after this one. He took this game a little personal because someone on the Jets defensive side of their coaching staff was actually the one that cut Baker Mayfield from Carolina. So he had a little chip in on his shoulder that we all know he plays with the chip on his shoulder, but give him a little extra motivation. It's scary hours playing Baker Mayfield. I
That's just what
absolutely
dogs do.
I love Baker Mayfield, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I love seeing him kick ass down in Tampa. He's the man.
Yeah, he's the man. I totally agree with you. He was completely given up on by 2 of the worst franchises in the NFL, and then
Ain't that the truth?
he lands. He finds himself. Keep in mind he was. I think he was their first quarterback after Tom Brady,
I believe so. Yeah.
and all he did was come in and ball,
Yeah.
just like straight. It just came
Yeah. I
in
think
and
you're
balled
right.
out. So, but Tom Brady's last year in Tampa was bad.
Yeah.
So
It,
I think that's kind of clouding our because it wasn't like he came in. He's like, oh, he has to live up to all great Tom Brady because
yeah.
recent was good. But my only thing with the Bucs, they're so fun, but so injured,
Yeah.
and another casualty. Mike Evans hurt his hamstring. Not the youngest player in the world. Hamstring injuries, those soft tissues. Seems like he's going to be out for a while. Godwin's out. Wirfs is out. So many offensive linemen. So many players. But Emeka Egbuka is not out, and he looks
Dog. Talk
awesome.
about dog. Yeah. He's a stud.
He looks awesome. Not that anyone who watched college football is surprised because he was a dog at Ohio State. I just talked about how we throw out dog too often, and we just did it twice. He's really good.
Yeah.
Emeka Egbuka is really good. Prime example, dear NFL teams, draft the best player available. Don't necessarily draft who's the best fit, because sometimes you get blessed with a Emeka Egbuka, and he is really freaking good. So when Mike Evans gets hurt, your team is not dead.
Yeah.
That's my quick pitch. Bucs are fun. They got a big test next week against the Eagles, but they are so injured. Hopefully, some people get healthy and some people return quick for the Bucs, because they are a really fun team. Should we get into some ass kicking?
Yeah.
Games, because the Colts might never lose again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, didn't watch much of this game. It wasn't really on Red Zone because it would just be one play. It would just be the score, because first play of the game, Cam Ward threw a pick six. Jonathan Taylor had 3 touchdowns. Danny Dimes is incredible. The Colts are so good. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy for the Colts. They've just been absolutely nothing for so long. I'm so happy for Danny Dimes. I'm so happy for the Colts. Jonathan Taylor is awesome. Like I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they may never lose again.
Yeah. Impressive start for the Colts for sure.
America's favorite game. Where does the Colts' first loss come, Sam? Ready? Next week, Rams.
That's a winnable.
Raiders.
Win.
Cardinals.
Win.
Chargers.
Loss.
Okay. Got it. If they beat the Rams, then it's the Chargers.
Yeah.
But it could be the Rams.
Yeah.
What we're saying. So one of the LA teams. So I mean, there's a good chance we're looking at a 6-7-1 team.
That's crazy.
But
it is Danny Dimes.
Right. At any point. It's at any point.
Any point.
It can go
It
south.
could all collapse.
Any point. Correct. It's a house of cards. But they look awesome right now. Good for the Colts. Good for their fans. They deserve it. But Sam, the backup quarterback bowl, Carson Wentz, Jake Browning. One of them did exactly what you hope a backup quarterback would do, and one of them did exactly what you fear a backup quarterback would do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But props to the Vikings defense, and that's all I gotta say. I'm sure you have more.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into specifics because we may have more on that later in Hint Week. But all I'll say is the Vikings defense had 2 touchdowns, 5 total turnovers. Going in at the 2-minute warning in the first half, Sam, it was 14-3 Vikings.
Yeah.
The Bengals had the ball in Vikings territory. They were getting the ball to start the half. So they had the possibility of scoring a touchdown, going into the half down 14-10, and getting the ball back. The classic double up. Do you happen to know the score at halftime?
No.
It was 14-3 at the 2-minute warning. Going into half, it was 34-3.
That sounds about right.
Or excuse me, it was 17-3, not 14-3. I was right. It was 17-3 at the 2-minute warning. Going into halftime, it was 34-3.
Yeah.
In those 2 minutes, the Bengals just completely collapsed. 3 turnovers, one of them for a touchdown. Just exactly what you did not want. Their defense looks terrible. Their offensive line looks terrible. Now, some of that, like the fumbling, can be a little random. I get it. Jake Browning was terrible. He threw 2 picks. We talked about how the roster is already not very deep. They only have a couple guys. Oh boy, for the Bengals. This can and probably will go very south very quick.
I think this we're at the top of the roller coaster and it's about to drop. Yeah, this is an absolutely embarrassing performance from the Bengals. And where do you look from here if you're a Bengals fan, Bengals player? Because it is extremely bleak right now.
Yeah, if you're a Bengals player, you're trying not to get hurt. If you're a Bengals fan, you are looking at who should be your next head coach, because Zach Taylor will not be there next year. And if he is, I have some serious questions about that front office. Sam.
Yeah.
Looking at the Vikings, look, this is exactly what it was supposed to look like, just with J.J. McCarthy playing. It was supposed to be a team that has a good defense that can force turnovers. It was supposed to be a team that had a quarterback who can step up and make a 3rd down and 5 throw to get a first down to an all-star or Pro Bowl, I should say, because we're in the NFL, wide receiver or tight end. This should have been a team that can turn in the backfield and hand it off to Jordan Mason, who would get 4 or 5 yards of carry and really handle a bunch of the load from that offensive side. And that's exactly what happened. This was the formula. And Carson Wentz came in and did exactly what you needed to do, made a couple throws, had a couple touchdowns. He didn't turn the ball over. He got the ball to Jordan Mason. He got the ball to Justin Jefferson. He got the ball to TJ Hawkinson. And that's what it was supposed to. That's exactly what it was supposed to look.
Yeah.
Nothing special from the Vikings offense. It was just solid offensive football, which is what it was supposed to be from the beginning. And what a difference Christian Darrisaw makes at left tackle. You know why TJ Hawkinson was a factor in this game and not in the other games? Because he wasn't chipping all game to try and help the backup left tackle. He wasn't lined up trying to double team with the backup left tackle. He could go out and run his damn routes.
Yeah.
Because Christian Darrisaw, going against Trey Hendrickson, who's one of the best in the game, by the way, completely took him out. Christian Darrisaw is one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, and he is the key to the Vikings offense. And having him back cannot be understated. Cannot be overstated. So awesome to see the Vikings win in dominating fashion. The offense looked good. The defense looked amazing. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to go. I'm very worried about the Bengals, obviously. Looks like it could be a long season for their fans. A big one in the AFC West, Sam, in the 3:00 or 4 Eastern slate. The Chargers get the win over the Broncos. The Chargers are now 3-0 with 3 wins against divisional opponents.
Yeah. It seems we have arrived at the peak of Justin Herbert. Obviously, the talk of him has been he has all the talent in the world. It just for some reason hasn't connected. It seemed this year it finally has. He is playing like one of the best. It's either him or Josh Allen playing as one of the best of the best in the NFL. Just at I mean, some of the throws he was making in this game were incredible. And the Broncos defense is one of the best in the NFL, and he just diced them up. Justin Herbert's has finally arrived to where everyone has been talking for years of where he should be. He's showing exactly where he is now.
Yeah, exactly. It cannot be like they're 3-0 in their division. Like that's huge. That's absolutely massive. An entire wave that, of course, they have to play all of them again, but an entire wave, and they haven't lost yet. Broncos are obviously also, like you said, great defense. They're a good team coming out on top of there. And then that last play, the last touchdown to Keenan Allen, that's just as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And the arm talent to be able to get the ball there with the velocity he did, really difficult. He's a stud. If I told you right now I'm officially hitching my wagon to Justin Herbert for MVP, how do you feel about that?
I don't hate it. Like I said, it's either him or Josh Allen. I think you can make an argument for either of them, but Justin Herbert
playing great ball.
Now
next week they have the Giants. Jesus, should be a win. After that, though, it's the Commanders. Commanders are a good team. Don't know what Jaden Daniels' status is like. But after that, they have the Dolphins. And then we have, if they were undefeated at that point, then you have quite possibly the game of the year in the NFL. And when we all thought preseason, Colts Chargers could be both undefeated. That's what
crazy.
We all thought, right?
Yep.
But yeah, good for the Chargers. They look good. I mean, John Harbaugh continues to just coach good football teams, and Justin Herbert's playing really well. 3-0 in the division. They have a stranglehold over the AFC West. And to wrap up the NFL talk, Sam, unless you had some other game you want to talk about, probably don't want to talk about this one. the Bears 31, Cowboys 4.
Yeah. Cowboys secondary ass, defensive line ass, special teams ass, wide receivers minus CD Lamb ass, running game ass. Dak in this game specifically ass got benched in this one. Everything is down bad for the Cowboys. I mean, this I don't even remember who the Cowboys played last week. But I was like, oh, they play the Bears next week. We'll bounce back. No, not at all. Not only did we get our ass kicked, CD Lamb is now out for 2 to 4 weeks. I think is what I saw. But at the same, like, it's one thing if you just go out and get beat like this to a far superior team. I still am not buying Caleb Williams. I think they should have scored 50 points in this one. The amount of easy, wide open throws he missed was astounding, Tanner. But with that being said, Roma Dunze is an absolute
He looks
dog.
good, man.
Every
good.
reception he had, there's no one within 10 yards of him. But
3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks for Roma Dunze.
absolutely,
He looks good.
what a stud. But is he that good, or did he just play the Cowboys secondary?
That's exactly right. Because look, I mean, obviously, if you're a Bears fan, like, he looked good, and like that's better than looking bad. Russell Wilson put up 450 against this defense
This is
last
true.
week.
This is true.
And then we saw him against the Chiefs look every bit as the wasp Russell Wilson as we had in week 1. And it's really bad. Like, I didn't expect it to be this bad. It's really bad. Like, the Eagles' offense was putrid over the first couple of weeks. Obviously, took the win against the Cowboys. The Russell Wilson and Caleb Williams putting up a combined 71 points in back-to-back weeks is
hell yeah,
just inexcusably bad.
Jadeveon Clowney did not help.
Jadeveon Clowney, hey, I mean, he they scored 9 less points, so Jadeveon Clowney is worth 9 whole points. That's what we're saying here,
I guess.
Yeah, it's really bad. And now CD's hurt, and if you're CD, you're playing the Packers next week, a pissed off Packers team that played with their food last week. Got reminded, hey, this is the NFL. You need to show up every week. Oh, and do you think Micah Parsons is gonna wanna play well?
Just maybe.
And it's not a franchise you fared well against in recent memory. Oh boy,
it's gonna be so bad.
It could be pretty bad.
Wow, the Packers are only a 7-point favorite right now.
It could be pretty bad. And then, you're CD Lamb. Like, do you hurry back at that point?
No. Why? I mean, seriously, why would you?
Yeah,
there's no point.
This is an spot if you're for the Cowboys.
I mean, yeah, it sucks not having him, but I think we're in a better spot than if this happened last year, because I do think George Pickens is a good receiver.
Yeah, and I agree. I think before we were talking about the Cowboys, like, the offense as a whole wasn't as good as it had been in the past couple weeks. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb going out probably is a reason for that. I think George Pickens has been good, taking some off CeeDee Lamb, and even when CeeDee Lamb went out, he still put up some numbers, caught a touchdown pass. I don't think there can be any takeaway other than this Cowboys defense is just rough,
super mega ass.
It is super mega ass. Booty cheeks, some say.
So bad.
And yeah, I mean, if you're the Bears, Who knows how they carry this forward? It'll be interesting. Next week they play the Raiders, a very winnable game. We'll play the game. Are they good or do they just play the Cowboys defense? We will
Yeah.
probably play that game next week, but this is rough. The
Yeah.
Cowboys defense is one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But hey, we got Trayvon Diggs and Jadeveon Clowney.
they have Trayvon Diggs and J.
Trayvon Diggs got smoked about 6 times this game with Roman Dunze.
Trayvon Diggs is a remember when he got those picks and he's one of the best corners in the league and it's gone downhill really fast.
It's tough. It's tough out here.
It is tough for the Cowboys defense. But
Everything
anything else
is
you want to
awesome.
talk about the NFL?
No. Cowboys suck. Yeah. Cowboys are really bad.
But hey, the draft pick got better this week because of the Packers loss.
True.
And that's a game you surely had penciled in as a win.
Yeah, that's true.
But let's get to some players of the week.
Let's do it.
Because there's a lot of good football, a lot of good performances. Who is your college football player of the week?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be making history because we've had a lot of two-time player of the week in a season on the pod. I believe this is the first time we go back-to-back player of the week in the college realm, and how can it not be Fernando Mendoza? He came off that insane Indiana State game and backed it up. He was like, Illinois, let's treat him like Indiana State. 21 for 23, 267 yards, 5 touchdowns, getting a huge win for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was incredible. 5 touchdowns. We say it all the time. Anytime you have 5 touchdowns, you're going to win player of the week on the Crunch Time pod here. But Sam, I'm going to go with something a little different because I want to put some shine on this guy because he didn't play the whole game. He came in after an injury, the game we talked about, an injury we didn't mention, because this guy came in and looked better than the starter did. And is a main reason why this team got a statement win on Saturday. I don't know if you can figure it out there, but I'm going with Will Hammond of Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Because the game was fairly ugly to start.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech starter Baron Morton, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Baron Morton got hurt. And to that point, he had put up 142 yards passing and 2 picks. No touchdowns. Will Hammond comes in. That place was rocking. It was a close game. Backup quarterback's now in. The crowd smelt blood in the water. And all he did was come in, throw for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns in a hostile environment as a backup.
Right hand up. I didn't even realize he was backup.
Yeah.
Non-ball knower Sam right here.
Right?
Exposed.
That's just how seamless this transition was. And I know, like, at the end of the day, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Doesn't look all that great. But he played for about a half and was a backup and was better than the starter.
In a game, almost a season-defining game, yeah.
In a season-defining game when the conference isn't as good. All right, I'm gonna say when the conference is just flat out bad. This is like the biggest game on your schedule, and your backup comes in and plays seamless football. I'm giving it to Will Hammond. That's a really, really tough thing.
Absolutely.
Really tough thing to do. But Sam, let's talk about some NFL football. Who was your NFL player of the week?
Yeah, majority of the time we talk about offense. I think it's just a little easier to when you read his stat line, it's easier to show that he performed well. But this guy deserves player of the week in the NFL. I'm going Tremaine Edmonds of the Chicago Bears. 2 big picks. Had Dak Prescott rattled all game. Complemented those two picks with 15 tackles. So shout out Tremaine Edmonds for beating the shit out of my team.
Yeah, I mean, he played well, no doubt about it. I thought you because guess what, Sam? I also have a defensive player, and I'm sure everyone out there knows exactly who I'm picking because this player, Sam, had the first perfect rating in Pro Football Focus history. PFF has graded every player for a long time in the NFL. Now, this is pending review because they watch the All 22 film and then they adjust their ratings. This is pending review of the All 22. But Isaiah Rodgers, the cornerback for the Minnesota Vikings, he had quite possibly the best game, according to PFF, the best game in NFL history. As a defensive back, he had a pick six. He had a forced fumble that he recovered himself and returned for a touchdown. He had another forced fumble that someone else recovered. He had multiple pass breakups, including one off the top of my head where they had a one-on-one with T. Higgins while the game was still close, mind you, and he made an awesome play to knock the ball away from him in the end zone. And he added a few tackles himself. I mean, the headliner, 2 touchdowns, 2 forced fumbles. One of the touchdowns was his own forced fumble that he picked up and scored, and one of his other touchdown was a pick six.
That ain't a bad day.
That's about as good as it gets. 99.9 PFF grade, the first perfect in PFF history.
Yeah, that ain't bad at all. Oh, man.
Yeah. That's as good as it gets. And Isaiah Rodgers last year was with the Eagles, and he was a backup for the Eagles. So no wonder why they won the Super Bowl if their backup was this good.
Yeah.
And he has been really good for the Vikings so far this year. He's been great, and he had a game to remember on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So all that's left to do in this episode is jump into some pick'em. Now we got a very special guest, a first-time guest, Mason Dyslin. My brother comes on to make some picks. So let's go to pick'em. Right. Okay, now we welcome on our guest picker, Mason Dyslin, my brother. Mason, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, first-time guest. Let's get into the picks. We'll start in the SEC. LSU. They got to go to Ole Miss. Kind of an interesting season for Ole Miss. Offense looks great. Trinidad Chambliss, top 10 name. He looks great. Who you got in this one, Mason?
I'm going with LSU here. I don't trust that Ole Miss defense. I think the LSU D is good enough to get a few more stops than that pretty porous Ole Miss D. So let's go with LSU here.
That's a great pick. I totally agree. I think Ole Miss is like Swiss cheese. A lot of holes in that defense. Give me LSU.
Look, this game is, I think it's going to be closer than I originally thought. LSU's offense hasn't looked great. Don't you dare ask Brian Kelly about that offense. Because he will snap at you. But I just Ole Miss's defense is just so bad. LSU's defense has been great. I'm going to go with LSU as well. I thought about it, but this is a game Ole Miss doesn't win. We talked about it before. Like they don't win these games. LSU does. Give me the Tigers on the road. But we'll stay in the SEC. Big time matchup. 2 premier programs, obviously. Bama, Georgia. This one in Athens. Mace, you going with the Dogs or you going with the Tide?
Give me Alabama here on the road. I'm not super impressed with either team so far this year. Obviously, Georgia coming off that big win at Tennessee, but I think this is a pretty statement game for DeBoer and his Alabama tenure. I think they rise up. I like the weapons at Alabama a little bit more than the Georgia offense. Should be a high-scoring game. Neither defense has showed much, but we'll go with Ty Simpson and the Tide to get it done.
Not so fast. Gunnar Stockton has been a quarterback putting up numbers that not a lot of people are talking about. I think this is a big statement game for him, and he's going to put DeBur and the Tide in the dirt. Give me the Bulldogs.
This one's. I mean, look. What did I say before last week that quickly Georgia became the most underrated team in college football because not a soul was talking about them. They went into Tennessee, got the big win, and Alabama. It's like we saw the game against Florida State, who I mean, at this point, is legitimately good, and we all pronounced them dead, and they seem to take umbrage to that and have played really good football since. Against obviously against nobody. It's a tough game. I think Georgia at home. Each team is coming off a bye, but I'm just gonna go with the home team. I think Georgia gets it done at home, but I wanted to go Alabama. I did, but I'm gonna go with Gunnar Stockton and the Dogs. Right on cue. Someone heard me talk about the Dogs, and sounds like Bo has got the Dogs. Bo?
Always.
Bo's going with Georgia. But we'll go to the Big Ten here, a team that bounced back after getting utterly eviscerated in Bloomington, Illinois. I think they're back at home when USC comes to town. USC, I mean, their offense has looked good. Mayava has been, I think to this point, has the highest passer rating in college football. He's got to go to Champaign looking for a bounce back. Mace, do they do it?
I got USC in this one. Very tough spot for them going to Champaign for a noon kick. Tough travel for them. I do think Illinois is going to get up off the mat a little bit here after that embarrassment last week, but I think the USC offense is too much. Give me USC by 3.
Wow.
USC by 3.
I think Illinois bounces back here. USC, their quarterback, Mayava, however you say his name, is a stud, no doubt. But this is the same song and dance with USC led by Lincoln Riley. Great offense, shit defense. I think Illinois has a lot to prove after getting absolutely embarrassed on the big stage against Indiana. I think Burt has his boys Ray and the Illini will get done.
Yeah. Last week I made some comments about Luke Altmaier that aged like a fine 2% milk. But like in this matchup, from what I've seen, I like Mayava more from the quarterback position. I'm gonna back the quarterback that I think has played better to thus far in the season. It's a pretty big switch up from one week to the next, but I just like Altmaier looked absolutely terrible. Mayava has looked good, and I think USC is another team that's just quietly won games. 2-0 in the Big Ten. I think they get it done on the road. Give me the Trojans and to get this big win and to round out the college slate, I should say, the big one. The game of the week, Oregon goes to Happy Valley, takes on number 3 Penn State in the whiteout. Big time atmosphere for Oregon. Mace, who wins this game?
Very interesting game here. I'm excited to watch. Oregon coming cross country. Quarterback Dante Moore. I watched him his freshman year at UCLA. Not very good. Sat behind Dylan Gabriel last year for Oregon. Stepping into the starting role this year, I think this environment's too much for him. I'm not sold on what I've seen from the Ducks so far. Haven't played a ton of real challenging competition. Neither has Penn State, but I think they've been saving enough in the tank here. Plus the whiteout crowd gives them enough to pull through. So let's go with Penn State winning by 7.
Yeah, this game is going to be I think these two teams are going to be the teams that end up winning the Big Ten. Unfortunately, I don't think that is going to be the Nittany Lions. I think Drew Aller is one of the more overrated quarterbacks in college football. I think we haven't seen them dominate like everyone thought they were going to. And I think it's a complete opposite on the other end. Oregon has dominated everyone they've played. Kind of had a quick slip up there at Northwestern, but bounced back last week against their rival Oregon State. Give me the Ducks.
Oh, going with this Ducks on the road. Look, I I I think Penn State is maybe the best team in college football. We were quick to, put Ohio State number one. They had the best win and beating Texas, and now Miami has the resume with Notre Dame and Florida. Penn State has played nobody, absolutely nobody. But I think Penn State is the most talented team in college football, and I don't think they slip up against Oregon. I think at home with the whiteout, everything that Mason said. I mean, the last time Oregon faced a big time, tough, physical Big Ten opponent, they got wiped off the floor. Granted, completely different team with Ohio State last year, but I don't think they have it in them. I'm going with the Nittany Lions at home to get a big win. Again, I think who I think is the best team in college football is Penn State. So I think they get that win. But switching over to the NFL, the Eagles, man, they just somehow, some way, they will find a way to win, much to the dismay of our guest picker this past week. They have to go to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. I mean, Baker Mayfield, seemingly the most clutch quarterback this year in the NFL, but we all know how many injuries going on over in Tampa Bay. Mace, do the undefeated Eagles keep their stretch going, or do the Bucs get them home?
Yeah, struggled a little bit with this game. I think two teams that probably shouldn't be 3-0 each. Ultimately, I think the Eagles win this game. I think the best unit on the field is going to be the Philly defense, so I trust them more to get the key stops. And I like what I saw in the second half from the Eagles, able to actually throw the ball downfield, push it to their weapons. A.J. Brown is still an elite wide receiver, very difficult to guard when they throw it to him. So I think Philly has enough to pull this one out.
Yeah, everyone is telling me to go with the Eagles, be smart. I just can't pull myself to do it. I'm a Baker guy. Everyone knows this, so give me the Bucs. He's gonna find a way to somehow pull off this miracle with all the injuries.
That's what Baker does. Look, going into this game, I was pretty dead set. I was gonna take the Bucs. When these two teams match up, it seems like the Bucs always have their number. In Tampa Bay, all this stuff going on, I was gonna go with the Bucs. Then Mike Evans got hurt, and they just don't have the weapons. And this, like you said, the Philly D, they're gonna be able to, at least I think they'll be able to slow down Igbuka, who at this point is gonna be the Buccaneers' only weapon. So I think because of that, and I guess somehow that fourth quarter unlocked this Philly offense from the first handful of games. They did not look good. Seemingly figured out how to throw the ball. A.J. Brown's still on your team. So I'm going to go with the Eagles on the road. I wanted to, but just too many injuries in Tampa for me to go with the Bucs in this one. But moving on, speaking of undefeated teams, the undefeated Colts go to L.A., take on the Rams, who just lost a tough one against Philly. Mace, Danny Dimes and the Colts, are they making it 4-0, or are your Rams bouncing back after a tough one?
I think the Rams will clip them here. Couple reasons. One, I think Indy's a little bit smoke and mirrors at this point. I mean, who have they beaten? They beat the Dolphins, who are in rough shape. They beat the Titans, who are in rough shape, and they probably should have lost to Denver if not for the refs getting involved. The Rams, back-to-back weeks, they were at Tennessee and then at Philly, so tough travel. Coming back home at SoFi Stadium, the Rams were a couple plays away, a couple quarters away from them dominating Philadelphia for most of that game, and everyone's kind of having a different opinion on this game. So I think the Rams will take it at home and kind of end that undefeated streak for Indy.
Sam?
But this is our Colts.
Oh yeah.
This is our team.
What's give me your the
Mhm.
punchline.
I'll have to think on
Grab
that
him
one.
by the horns.
But give me the Colts here.
Going with the Colts. Yeah, the Rams should have won that game. They're coming back home. I agree. I think the Rams get them. They should have won, like you said. Indy should have lost to Denver with that strange leverage call. I'm still happy for the Colts. I do think they're pretty good, but I think the Rams get that win at home. Matt Stafford is still the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. Somehow, some way, we still don't realize how damn good he is, and the Rams get that win in SoFi. Moving on, big time battle in the AFC. Seemingly, these teams match up in the playoffs every year. The Ravens, they got to go to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, the 1-2 Chiefs that just got their first win this past Sunday night in the Meadowlands. Mace, Chiefs or Ravens?
I think we'll go Chiefs here. I know they've not looked very good to start the season, but I still think somewhere in there the old Chiefs are there. We get a kind of a prime time, late afternoon. I think it's 4:05 kickoff here. Arrowhead should be packed and loud. I think you get max effort from the Chiefs here. And you get a little bit of Mahomes magic who, despite maybe not playing the best game, they pull it out some way. So Chiefs step up and get a huge win at home here.
Wow.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees that eventually the old Chiefs are going to come back. I just don't think it's going to be against this Ravens team. Just with all the injuries, suspensions the Chiefs have, I just don't think they can match the Ravens' weapons. So give me the Ravens.
Yeah, that's the thing is I do think the old Chiefs will come back. I don't think they come back until Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy come back. Now, Xavier Worthy could play next week. I'm not entirely sure about his status, but I can tell you Rashee Rice isn't coming back next week, and that's a problem. This offense looks a little rough without those two weapons. Travis Kelce, we all know what's going on with him, and I guess Quan Thornton looked pretty good against the Giants, but I think this offense needs its weapons back, and Ravens are just so damn good. I'm going to go with the Ravens here on the road, but Arrowhead should be rocking, and it should be a good one. Hopefully it's a good one. But I'm going with the Ravens. And to round out the NFL slate, Sam, we just talked about your Cowboys. Rough start to the year, rough start for that defense. The Packers coming off of a big-time disappointment, I'll say, against Cleveland. Probably should have won that game. The Browns beat him at home, but this game is at AT&T on Sunday night. Packers Cowboys, the Micah Parsons revenge game. Mace, does he get his revenge, or do the Cowboys get to win at home?
I'm going with another underdog pick here. Give me Dallas at home. Obviously not a great week last week for them, but I think that game got away from them. Kind of snowball effect. They had that fumble on the big run in the first quarter. Pickens dropped that pass that turned it into an interception in the red zone. At home here, I think they rise up. Micah coming back should give them a little chip on their shoulder. Sunday night primetime spot, I think they rise up here. I'm not overly impressed with the Packers. Obviously, their defense looks solid, but the offense I still think has holes. Put all that together, I think Dallas just comes up huge here. They win a close game.
Mason, wow. I pray you are right. Unfortunately, I don't have the balls to do it myself. I think the Packers take care of business here. I think it would be a little more competitive if CeeDee Lamb didn't get hurt in yesterday's game. But without him, I think the Cowboys offense is going to struggle, and we all know how poor said secondary is. Give me the Packers.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm still a little bit. I mean, I love the Stones to take the Cowboys at home, but I don't know. look with Jordan Love, it's always possible he can just throw all these terrible interceptions like he has done in the past. But look, I don't know. I don't think the defense, the Cowboys defense is historically bad at this moment with how Russell Wilson looked against them, and now how Caleb Williams looked. I just don't think I can back the Cowboys. I pray it happens. I'd love another Jordan Love game, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Cowboys do, or excuse me, the Packers do get the win on the road. And yeah, and Michael Parsons gets his revenge on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. But that only leaves one thing left. We have our super dog, Mace. Where you going? Where you taking us with this super dog?
I had a couple of options circled here, but I'm going to go with a super dog near and dear to this podcast. Let's go to Fayetteville and let's take Arkansas plus 5.5. I think that number opened up around 7, 6.5. It's getting bet down a little bit. So I think the initial money is with me. This comes down to Notre Dame's defense. Really not impressed at all with what I've seen from them. Arkansas has their defensive issues as well. But I think this is a kind of a back and forth game. Whoever has the ball last type of wins this game. I expect Taylor Green to have a huge day against that pretty terrible Notre Dame defense. I think Razorback Stadium is going to be loud. This is kind of a last stand for them. Ole Miss game they probably should have won. They fumble it away. Memphis game they have pretty much won. They fumble it away. This is basically your season on the line here. Notre Dame coming to town. I think Arkansas can win this game outright.
I love it.
Let's
I
go.
love it. That's ballsy. That's ballsy.
Over
After
under
what we've seen.
64.5 in that game right now, by the way. Points.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay in the SEC for my super dog. This line just stinks to me, and I'm dumb enough to take the bait. LSU is a -1.5 versus Ole Miss. I don't understand it, but I just am not going to trust Trinidad Chambliss against the LSU defense. I think LSU not only covers but wins outright in this one.
Interesting. So, yeah, Ole Miss is favored. Wow, I didn't even realize that. I usually put the lines down when I'm doing that, but I didn't on this one. Wow, yeah. Okay, so you're doubling down on LSU.
Doubling down. Doubling down.
Doubling down. Well, I am gonna go away from that. I'm gonna go to the ACC, and I'm looking at a game similar to what Mason said, where it opened up at 6.5. It's been bet down. A lot of books have 4.5. I'm seeing on one book it's got 5, so I'm claiming 5 for my spread here. I'm taking the Pitt Panthers at home to cover the 5 against Louisville. Pitt had the bye week this last week after a tough loss. They probably should have won in the backyard brawl. 2 weeks to prepare for Louisville. I think Pitt covers the 5. The initial money's with me as well on this. I think Pitt covers the 5 at home versus Louisville.
I like it.
What do you think, Mace?
I like it too.
All right. I love it. Well, thanks so much, Mason, for coming on and coming on with us, making some picks. Look, there are 10 points. There are 10 points up for grabs. The most you can get is 10. 8 head-to-head picks. If your super dog wins outright, you get 2. If they cover the spread, or they get
3.
They get
3
So
outright.
11 points. If they win outright, you get 3. If they cover the spread, you get 2. If it pushes, you get 1. Out of the 11, how many do you think you got?
I think we're definitely getting Arkansas outright. I think we get
3.
7 of the other 8, so let's go with 10.
10. Would that put them in first place?
I believe so. Yeah.
Do you have those handy by chance? Or
Well, Robbie, our guest picker last week, he still has Monday night's game going on. So, but I don't believe he is in the running for 10
got it.
points.
So yeah, that would take over the number 1 spot for the season. thanks so much for coming on, making some picks. We'll have to have you on again. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
That's going to wrap it up for episode 185 of Crunch Time. Huge shout out to Mason for coming on, making some picks. Pretty confident in that Arkansas pick, Sam.
I love it. I love it. He was really sugar, and that's terrible way to put it. But
sugarcoating.
He wasn't sugarcoating. He was loving my team. So
yeah,
Cowboys and Arkansas back to back.
Yeah, I think Sam will want to have him back on for sure.
Yeah.
But we talked about a lot in this episode, man. Of course, full slate of football. It's a football Monday. It was a football Monday episode. We are recording on a Monday. Monday night is currently going on 7-7 in the second quarter. A lot of stuff to talk about in college football. A lot of programs down in the dumps. Head coaches likely soon to be fired. A lot of big wins. Great performances on the NFL side. Again, great performances. Witching hour was crazy. A couple of games that were an ass kicking, but a big one going on right now between the Ravens and the Lions. But make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter, X. That's the same thing on X, correct. TikTok, and Instagram at crunchtime_pod. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube Crunch Time with the N326 duo. The clock has run out on this episode, and we'll see you in the next one on Crunch Time.
Yar.